All right, welcome back to Judah Vision. I'm always very reluctant to do predictive programming shows about shootings, especially when children are involved because they're so sensitive. But that said, today we have to comment upon this short piece on the news, which talks about the Uvalde shooting in Texas, which killed 21 people. They said 19 for the longest time, then it went to 21. And the reason being is because there's a lot of consistencies or really strange coincidences between this shooting and the Mandalay Bay shooting. And let's get started on the clip before we get started decoding what I'm talking about.
A Texas state senator says the commander at the scene of last week's school shooting in Texas was not informed of panicked 911 calls coming from inside the building. State Senator Roland Gutierrez calls it a system failure.
Now, why does that remind us of the Las Vegas shooting? Well, this seems like a really big quote-unquote system failure, considering this is emergency services and all these guys do is practice for just this type of occasion. Because as we know, these things don't happen every day. They're clearly, not to downplay it, but clearly way more rare than a lightning strike. But they do cause their share of terror more than this, more than a lightning strike. But this said, there's also a couple other similarities between this shooting and the Mandalay Bay shooting. For example, the memorial was set up at a fountain that was in the shape of, wait for it, a mandala. Just like the victims who were shot before a mandala at Mandalay Bay, which is the word mandala, with a broken cross at the end. So there's a couple of things. First of all, you know that they said that the cameras weren't working for that 24 hours for that shooting, and now we have a major systems breakdown here. Very, very interesting. I would also like to point out, though, too, that the inside this fountain was a swamp. It was by no means a clean fountain, which reminds me again of Mandalay Bay, because at the mandala standing in, which is a temple, a Hindu temple, in front of Mandalay Bay, they also had there a swamp. And also they had a swamp before they quote unquote drained the swamp at Vatican. And believe it or not, the exact location where Vatican stands, tens if not hundreds of thousands of Christians were slaughtered there. Does that sound familiar as well? And then guess what they did? There was a chariot racing event at which they slaughtered Christians until they just went to full-time slaughtering Christians once the public got a taste for blood. But as we can see, this is very, very interesting, to say the least. Okay, now here is the footage that I promised you, which shows the security at Mandalay Bay Casino on the day of the shooting, on the day Stephen Paddock gunned down those 59 people in cold blood. These guys are on the wrong floor for too long. Sound familiar? Watch this.
It's been many months since the mass shooting in Las Vegas, the largest in modern American history. Even now, new information, for some reason, continues to trickle out. Key information. Newly released video shows Las Vegas police waiting in the hallway at the Mandalay Bay Hotel, even as Stephen Paddock continues to murder people below. The obvious question is, why is this footage coming out now, and why did the police not act for several minutes? Catherine Lombardo is an attorney representing...
Again, sound familiar? Now, when you see what this attorney says, you'll wonder why you haven't heard this news or why this news hasn't been acted upon. Again, this is Tucker Carlson's show. This is a mainstream news network show. It's saying there's a big problem here. Now, watch what his attorney says, or what the attorney of the victim say, who's keen to these security guards and this cop who got fired after the fact. The security guards did not. I ran into them. I've got footage of them chasing me out of Mandalay. And if you stay a subscriber, one day you'll see it. But watch this.
Some of the victims of those shootings, and she joins us tonight. Catherine, thank you for coming on. So the first question is, why are we finding this out now? This seems like a central piece of information in the story.
Because the court ordered the Las Vegas Metro Police Department to release all of this video footage, and pursuant to court order, they are releasing it piece by piece over the last couple of months. And as you know, yesterday we received about a dozen videos and many more audio videos showing mostly police officer body-worn camera footage. It's fascinating. It is also very, very upsetting. It shows the extremeness of the event and the trauma that everyone there, the 22,000 people who were there, have suffered. You know, interesting, in that video, I've been in that very hallway, in the stairwell, at the door, there on the 31st floor and the 32nd floor. I was there just some months ago. And what the video clearly shows is that this one particular police officer was on the 31st floor, not the 32nd floor, and he was there for many, many moments. What we find interesting is that the Mandalay Bay security officer who was with that particular police officer before the shooting started and raced through the casino floor and raced up the elevators with him, this particular Mandalay Bay security guard said that he was on the 32nd floor with that particular officer in the video on the 31st floor. This Mandalay Bay security manager told the FBI on 9 separate occasions in his interviews that he was certain he was with this officer Hendricks on the 32nd floor. So we already knew that this officer Hendricks was on the 31st floor, but it wasn't until yesterday when all of that video was released that we finally got confirmation that something is wrong, something's amiss. This whole thing, it's just the tip of the iceberg. We've only scratched the surface.
They've only scratched the surface, yet this guy lied to the FBI 9 times, and he still worked at Mandalay Bay to throw me out when I went to go decode the property. Wait till you see what that says. That Symbolism says some crazy stuff, and I've been holding on to it. God hasn't allowed me to release it yet. And again, the show's got pretty low budget technology right now because I'm going in for a back and neck surgery, and it's very extensive, and I haven't been able to work. So God has put this thorn in me, clearly because it's the time for this information to come out, but it's going to come out. Go find this video. Go find this video online. I dare you. You won't find it anywhere.
Okay, now I've been watching online for any kind of aerial shots of this, and there weren't any for the longest time, but now we're lucky enough to have this little drone footage. And as you can see already, this looks like a pyramid, like the Luxor kind of, and then we have the reflective quality, the mirror, magic dark mirror, of which I always say leads to human sacrifice, and in the middle there's a circular fountain too. So we have all the things we've seen in Vegas if you watch Division, but watch this, it's rather eerie as you go over the top and realize it's this mandala, just like Mandalay Bay has. Here we go. Sorry about that. Now look, it looks like the folded dollar that Taco Bell showed us. Again, now look, I'm going to back it up just a little bit. Look, that's a mandala. That's a mandala, just like Mandalay Bay. Now, you may know mandalas because of rugs like these. You may have one in your dorm room or your office, or your mother may have one. But again, it's the folded dollar from Taco Bell. The mandala is going to be the key to solving all of this. Okay, I keep talking about this mandala, quote-unquote, folding dollar, which is black magic, at the top of which is human sacrifice. And this Taco Bell folding dollar, and telling you that I found the clue in the end of a Taco Bell commercial. Now, I'm going to show you guys again, for Division subscribers, you've already seen this, but I'm going to show you the video, or show you the small commercial, and then at the end of the commercial, I want you to see if you can find the clue that shows you how to turn your dollar into a mandala. And I want you to also remember that this Illuminati, or Bell-Luminati campaign by Taco Bell had its own secret society into which you could be inducted or initiated, just like in the Freemasons, whose logo is on the dollar and also in these campaigns. So here we go. It's Taco Bell. It's a Bell-Luminati commercial campaign.
There's a powerful connection between the dollar and Taco Bell, because it unlocks a world of 20 decadent menu items from breakfast to late night for just $1 each. 20 items for $1. 20 steps on the pyramid. Who's really behind this?
See it? So I'll give you one more chance to see it at the end of this commercial. Watch. Experience the power of a dollar,
Experience the power of the dollar.
which is the mandala. And if you fold that up, watch this. There's your dollar. And if you fold it up like they told you, check this out. They use the old Latin and change your dollar into a trans. That's right. Your dollar switches over from the Taco Bell, according to the Taco Bell commercial, from a man into a woman. From an O at the end to an A, masculine to feminine. And we would go into more this programming that's on here, but all I want you to know right now is this is black magic, and it's an altar that Taco Bell told you how to fold. A mandala. God bless.
I hope everybody's okay with what happened. You know what the copyright infringement on private property is. We'll talk about that if I do that, right? Bye, fellas. I hope you feel good about that. I hope you feel good about Route 5. Real nice. That's what happened right over there on 10-1. Look around. You know what happened. Man, I know people like Inside Red wants to make money. Oh.